All right, so you just applied to Dick's Sporting Goods, or you're thinking about applying to Dick's Sporting Goods, and you out here looking for videos, trying to get advice about working at Dick's Sporting Goods, and like you trying to learn different experiences. Well, I'm here for you. All right, I'm gonna make this video. I'm gonna show my experience, and I'm gonna tell my experience, as well as give you guys tips and advice on working at Dick's Sporting Goods. I'm gonna go over the good things about working at Dick's Sporting Goods and the bad things about working at Dick's Sporting Goods, so stay tuned. All right, so I'm gonna talk about my experience, and I'm gonna talk about the pros and cons as I go along talking about my experience. All right, so I applied there, and about like a week later, a few days later, something like that, they ended up hitting me up and calling me back, saying that they wanted to do an in-person interview. So I ended up coming in, and I was like, I walked in there, I was low-key like, bro, like this job, I don't know, they had golf there, they had like all types of stuff. They had a room where you play golf and you just hit the balls and like it tests it, and like it's kind of like a game, and that was cool to me. They had golf to where like you can put inside the store. They had like a mini golf course. They had so much. They had an in-store with like shooting room. And it was just nice, bro. I walked in, I was like, whoa, like, don't get me wrong, I came to Dick's before, but that was like, I don't know, it was just different. I was kind of noticing everything as I was waiting on the job interview, because I had to wait, because there was like multiple people before me. I was just walking around the store, just observing. It was like really nice. So I do the interview. There was a girl from my department, which they wanted like me to work in, and the like overall top manager interviewed me. Speaking of the department though, they put me in apparel, which is I did not want to be in apparel. Basically what apparel is like you deal with all the clothes in the store. And I'm like, this is a big old store. Do you know how big Dick's Sporting Goods is? Huge, all right? And apparel takes up like 80% of the store space. So it's just all just clothes that you just gotta recover and clean up, which is like, bro, I low-key didn't want to do that, but I was still excited about the job. And yeah, so they interviewed me. They asked me like a bunch of questions, like just about myself, like what do you do for fun, what sports have you played. This basic job interview questions kind of lean towards like sports and stuff. And like I feel like that's a good job for, you know, athletes or like fitness people who like know about sports or like know about fitness and stuff like that, or even sneakerheads, to be honest, who know about shoes. It's a good job. They just ask you like, what do you know like about this? Like what sports have you played? What makes you like happy to be an athlete and stuff like that. That's what they call their like associates and workers. They're athletes. No, sorry. They call the customers athletes. They call their like workers their teammates. So yeah, they just talked about just basic interview questions, really, that any job will ask you. And you know what? Like they both stepped out of the room. Like I would say like they was talking for like what, 5 minutes. Then they came back in. They were like, hey, so you got the job and everything like that. Low-key, I was excited. I was like, bro, I'm gonna work here. Cause you know, I was younger back then. So working at Dick's Sporting Goods to me was like a really good job, like a really fun job, you know. So I was excited, and they was like telling me like, oh, like about 2 weeks from now you can come in and stuff like that. We're gonna give you what, the shirt that they wear, because you don't have to wear certain pants or shoes. It's just a shirt. So yeah, they were gonna give me the shirt that I was gonna wear and just everything. They asked me about like what my passions are for like the name badge. I put 2 things. I put basketball and I put what, weightlifting. So yeah, I put both of those. So they called me in 2 weeks later for orientation. All right, so orientation was like a funny experience, all right, because I ended up coming in, and there's this guy from my school that I like knew personally. Like we played sports together and everything like that. He was in the interview office. I was like, oh, like I saw him, like, cause we played a lot of like multiple sports together. And I knew him for a while. It was just funny. Like we just bust out laughing. They're like, you guys know each other? Like the interview girl, like, yeah, we're like, yeah, we know each other. So yeah, that part was honestly pretty funny. But yeah, orientation, they just went around and just like introduced us to like the store, and like, I don't know, they helped us like learn and navigate around the store. They like told us what stuff is, where stuff is, what department things are. So you have what, apparel, and you have footwear. those are both soft lines, and hard lines are what you call, I gotta remember, because I don't even work there anymore. Hard lines are team sports. You got lodge, you got fitness, and you got golf. So those are hard lines. So those are different departments at Dick's Sporting Goods. And they just started quizzing us about stuff like camping, lodge. I don't know anything about that, but they started interviewing us about fishing, which I kind of knew about since I fished. Not interviewing, but just like educating us, like just giving us the basics about what department is and just everything. Like, what is it called? A PDT, like the machine that you use to scan stuff and all of that different type of stuff. Orientation ended up being like over with. The person who like gave us the orientation, she was pretty cool, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, she was cool, and like we ended up leaving after what, like 2 hours, something like that. And fast forward to like, I guess that Monday or something like that, we ended up coming in, all right? So like working a normal shift. So that was pretty cool and exciting, like to come in and stuff like that. And honestly, it was a lot, to be honest, in my department, because we had to learn a lot, like recovery, just where stuff is, like just everything, just like how to work the PDT and just everything. Like at Dick's, I'm not gonna lie, you have to carry a lot of stuff in your pockets during work. So like when you come in for the first time, you better have like a bunch of pocket like area, because you have to put PDT in your pocket, which is like that little scanner machine. You have to put that in your pocket. You have to put the not necklace, but name badge, like around your neck. What else? You have to put walkie-talkie in your pocket. And you have to put like the keys to unlock the dressing room or whatever department you're in. You have to put that in your pocket. Sometimes those keys were like huge and carried up a lot of space, so you couldn't even just do that. You had to put it around your neck. So you had to wear a lot of stuff. So I'm gonna go with the first con, which I'm getting into already, is working in apparel. If you work at Dick's Sporting Goods, I guarantee you would not want to work in apparel. That is so much area to like recover, you know, like. And my Dick's Sporting Goods was only one story. Imagine a 2-story, you gotta do downstairs and upstairs. Like, that couldn't be me. You know the worst thing about being in apparel, all right, was most of the time they would just have you alone in apparel, just one person, all right? And Dick's Sporting Goods isn't like no Marshalls or no Ross or Burlington or anything like that, or TJ Maxx when it comes to recovery. They want everything like perfect, all right? So if you get the job, I repeat, do not get in apparel, because you got people literally over here, what, in golf or team sports or lodge or fitness, they're just chilling the whole time. Like they're just on their phone, or they're just like walking around just doing nothing. So I wouldn't be in apparel, all right? Footwear is pretty cool to be in, but just do not be in apparel, I repeat. So yeah, it was a lot of work. They had me recovering like all over the store. It was a lot. Like I did bad, even with like kind of the other person there. I mean, I didn't do bad that day. It was the first day I was alone, which I kind of did bad, because that was a whole lot. And keep in mind, this was during holiday season, so around what, like last Christmas or something like that. So it was pretty, like, it was a rough time to come in and work that section, all right, and at Dick's Sporting Goods. But yeah, we ended up leaving early at like what, 9? Like, bro, like we got out so like early, dude. Like, it was cool though. I still don't regret working there though. It was like pretty chill. That was the first day. Like I said, the first day, like I was alone in my department. It was a lot. Like every other department had to come help me, because bro, like apparel is so huge and it's easy to mess up clothes, you know. So I'm not gonna lie, that day was kind of stressful. The first day I was alone in my department, but I ended up getting better over time at like recovery and stuff like that and running stuff out. So it ended up getting easier over time, but at first, I'm not gonna lie, it was a lot. All right, so fast forward a few months. Now I'm gonna go and give you a pro of working there. This is a pro, right? It was the food they fed us. Like, oh my gosh, bro. Like, we ate like every week, like some type of fast food, or they have like a bunch of sweets and like cookies or Subway sandwich looking things. And just all these, like, they fed us every week. Like 1 week, we got Chick-fil-A. 1 week, we got what, like, I think Taco Bell. What else did we eat? We ate Chick-fil-A. We got pizza like every week. Like, dude, they fed us every week. They always had candy in there. They had like protein bars, like Nutri-Grain bars, like just all of this food, bro. They would give us Chinese food. Like, we ate there like every single week, I promise you. They even had fed us like Whataburger a lot. Like, it is crazy. Like, we ate a whole bunch. That was a big pro. And I've never worked a job that fed us food that much, and like it was just good. Like, it was chill. Like, you go to break, like you just get to chill and just eat like on break. Like, bro, that was cool. And they had all this candy, and I'm not talking about just like a few candy. They had a bunch of candy, like buckets full, like multiple buckets, because they had multiple tables in the break room. But just buckets full of candy. That was probably, I don't know if this is my Dick's Sporting Goods, but that's a big pro. The thing I had to go through while working there was, dude, people would always try to steal from Dick's. I promise you, like, that, I know in Dick's Sporting Goods, they sell like expensive stuff. People would always try to steal and like rob us, bro. Like, I'm for real, like in the dressing room, people would take off sensors and like put sensors at the top and stuff like that, and just put stuff in their backpack. Like, that's why when you like, I guess when you work there and like you're in the dressing room or something like that, like you gotta like count how many items they have and stuff like that, and when they come out, like you just gotta know, you know, and like you gotta turn the sensors. They took them off. People always try to steal. Like, I remember this one situation. This guy, bro, he was kind of bold about it. I'm not even gonna lie. So he gonna steal. He's gonna like try to walk out with stuff like that. And like, what's the stupid thing about working at these retail shops and stores? Like, you can't even do anything about it. Like, you can't be like, hey, you're stealing. Like, don't do that. Like, as like an associate, you can't like put your hands on them, obviously, but like it's crazy. And like security, they couldn't even do the same thing. The security guards, so which is like dumb. Like, people always steal. Like, all you gotta do is ask them, just offer to help them out, I guess, and stuff like that. But this guy didn't care. Like, I was offering to help him, and the other people offering. We just like ganged up on. He just walked out, but then they ended up calling the cops on him, bro. And like, he left. He wanted to stick up the middle finger at us. Like, it was funny because I don't know. That dude was weird. Like, he has to be on drugs or something. But it was just funny. A pro is my coworkers. All right, since they mainly like, I guess Dick's Sporting Goods attracts a certain type of worker. Like, I don't know, it's just pretty much athletes that work there. So like, just cool, chill people. Like I'm sure if you work at Dick's Sporting Goods, you're gonna find people that like actually that you vibe with, you know, that you work with. Like, I was cool with everybody. Like, that job was fun. Like, all the people were pretty chill. Like, we'd be goofing off in the back room sometimes. And just having like, I don't know, like, it was pretty fun, like dealing with the coworkers. Other than when the managers, they're like, oh, like you can't talk, like stop talking to him and stuff like that. But other than that, it was like all the workers are cool because I had people I knew from my high school that I went to, and like it was just chill. Like, even the new people I met, like they were all chill, and even young, like they were all younger too. They were all like what, like I would say from what, like 16 to like what 22. So everyone was chill. Like, pretty much all dudes. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, we had some girls and stuff like that, but it's kind of like a bro job, you know? Like, I don't know. It's just like bro-oriented job. Okay, the type of customers you will deal with, bro, like working there, I'm not gonna lie, it varies. Like, cause you got some extra cool customers, then you got some snobby people. Like, Dick's didn't attract them, like the ghetto people, you know? Like, if you work at like Whataburger or something, or Popeyes, like Dick's attracts those snobby people, like rich people, because you know it's expensive to shop there. So, bro, like they would be like smart sometimes, like mouth, but I mean, other than that, the customers, they were pretty chill, you know, like for the most part. Like, a lot of teenage guys or like younger guys coming there, just people, just I don't know, just normal people too. But like a lot of rich people would come in there, like very well off people. So yeah, I mean, that was the only con, just those people. Right, and another pro is that they would have TV like in there playing, bro. Like, while you can be watching the game while like working and stuff like that. They had big TVs everywhere. Like, they had TVs in golf, and they had TVs around like the register area, which was cool. Like, when baseball World Series would come on, we watched that, basketball games, football season, because it's around football season when I was there. Like, just all of this stuff, like, it was, I'm not like, it was cool, like, just being on the TV and just, like, watching it sometimes, you know, even with the managers, like, they were cool, like, you'd be watching TV with them and stuff like that. But, okay, another con that I noticed is them bad kids, bro. And I have such a funny experience that I haven't talked about these kids, bro. Like, these little kids that are coming here in groups, like, after school, because our, like, Dick's Sporting Goods right by high school, right? So these kids will come in here and just start being bad, bro. Like, I know that's at every Dick's Sporting Goods. Like, they would pick up the football or something, and they would pick it up and just start throwing it in the store and playing, like, catch and stuff like that. Like, it'd get annoying having to stop them all the time, but it was funny sometimes, I'm not gonna lie. And this one experience, like, these kids were bad. Like, there was these group of kids, like what, 16 kids or something like that? All right, and there's about, like, what, 5 of us, 6 of us on the sales floor. Man, these kids, like, they had, like, 2 or 3 starting footwear, because, you know, footwear leads to, like, this big old back room area. These kids gonna sprint around in the back room. These bad kids, they gonna start running around in the back room. And, bro, we had to kick them out after, bro. And I'm not lying, bro, I was laughing because they were running around like they just did not care, bro. Kids would be bad, like basketball. They would start shooting basketball, even though the top was covered with something. They would start shooting basketballs, and they would be like, you know, the boxing area. They'd start freaking punching a punching bag and like kicking the punching bag and this, like, I guess the speed bag. They just be just violating and playing around, like in there playing golf. Like, they just being broke. Like, they would just go there, like, almost every day after school, just, like, goofing off and stuff like that, which is, like, it's funny, but, like, when I was working there, it was low-key annoying. Another con, though, was, like, having to get ladders and stuff. Like, when I was in other departments, like, what, like, fitness or, like, something like golf or, like, team sports or large or something like that, like, I would have to always go back to the back and get this big old ladder to get stuff off the, like, high-end top shelves. Which, I mean, that's a slight con, but that was a con because it did get annoying. But, I mean, overall, though, the job was pretty fun, to be honest. Like, I'll give it, like, what, an 8.5 out of 10. Like, it was a cool job. Like, I don't regret working there at all. Like, I had to leave because of, like, I wanted to get more money, you know, working somewhere else. Because they paid, what, $12.50? That's how much I got paid. But, yeah, like, it's a pretty good job. Like, if you're, like, in high school or you're in college or something like that and just trying to get money on the side while you go to school, like, it's a pretty fun job, especially if you play sports and stuff and you know about all of that stuff. It was pretty cool. Like, I would recommend working there. Like, the team was cool, managers were pretty cool where I worked. So, yeah. If you enjoyed this video and you got something out of it and you're about to go work at Dick's Sporting Goods, I recommend it. Go do it. But if you enjoyed, please leave a like on this video and comment, like, your thoughts and comment your questions down below in the description. Just comment down, just ask me some stuff, and subscribe to my channel because I may make another video about Dick's Sporting Goods. Or I may give, like, tips for working there because I really didn't even give any tips. I just gave you guys the experience and pros and cons. But yeah, if you like, please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys later.